Of course, I believe in monogamy, and I believe in polygamy as well, in polyamory, in whatever relationship or coupling model or whatever love life experience you want to have, whatever sexual experience you want to have. I believe in all of them. You know, we live in a world where there is such a diversity of explorations and possibilities when it comes to how to use your sexual energy, and all of them work to a certain extent. It might not work for you, but it might work for other people. So these blanket things that this is the way we are designed as a human race or as individuals, it's complete nonsense. We have a vast diversity of desires and mind frames and mindsets, and you have to identify what is the unique model or way of relating that works for you. It's a very simple thing. Labeling, you know, humankind and putting the totality of humankind in one category is complete nonsense. You have all this diversity of human desires and human experiences because different people need different things. And so here is a truth that I want to share with you. I believe that being exclusive, coupled, and sexually exclusive when it comes to relationships is still the prevalent model for 95% of people on this planet, especially in the Western world. I have more experience with coaching people in the US and in Europe or in Australia and New Zealand, you know, more than in Africa, for instance, or more than in Southeast Asia or in China. But I'm going to just speak a little bit more to the Western world here. Most people I coach, they want an exclusive relationship with one person. That doesn't mean that polyamory doesn't work. It means that it might not work for you. So is this an experience that you should pursue? You know, if somebody comes to you and says, oh, monogamy is so outdated, it doesn't work, marriage doesn't work. That's nonsense. Of course marriage works. It works for millions of people on this planet who are happily married. They are having a successful marriage. They manage to make it work. Now, 50% of couples in the US get divorced within 7 years. So what that means is that the lifespan of relationships is much shorter than what it used to be. But you can be happily married for 7 years and then divorce. You can be married for a whole lifetime and be completely happy with that. What you have to add, instead of saying polyamory doesn't work or monogamy doesn't work, being exclusive doesn't work, you know, it doesn't work for me. And I notice that it doesn't work for that person, but it works for that one. You know, I've been sexually exclusive in committed relationships for most of my life. I had a few long-term relationships, you know, 3 years, 5 years, 10 years, and they worked really well. They were powerful life experiences that worked really well. And then I had periods in my life where I decided to be more open, to be in what I call free flow, because I didn't want to commit myself to just one person. And it worked really well. And so check inside of you. Does monogamy or monogamy, you can call it monoamory or duoamory to have other terms, but does monogamy, does being in an exclusive coupled experience work for you? For you! Is this what you want? And when you are in that space, are you committed? Are you investing what it takes in terms of transparency, commitment, prioritizing, creating emotional safety? Do you have the codes to create this powerful coupling experience? And if the answer is yes, then it probably means that monogamy works for you, being exclusive works for you. But that doesn't mean that it's going to work for somebody else. So again, in my experience in the Western world, probably the model of monogamy is going to work or is going to be the favorite model or way of relating for 95% of people. Again, within my coaching experience, sometimes in the coaching conversations that I have with clients, we are going to talk just quickly on the idea of opening the relationship. If my client is in a coupled experience and they go like, I feel the limitations, I need to something new, and I say, well, did you consider the idea of opening your relationship? And for 95% of my clients or the people I speak with, they go like, this is not an option. And I completely respect that. And I honor that. Because I know that sometimes, you know, the way you are designed and your belief systems and how you engage in life, this is what your system is calling for. And the reason why the structure of society, especially in the Western world, again, there are traditions and other countries and cultures where polygamy is accepted, okay? So in my experience in the Western world, monogamy, marriage, just two people, is still the number one model of relating. And the reason why it's like that, it's because it has been working for like 2, 3, 4,000 years. I don't know when that model was designed exactly, but the reason why it's like that is because it's one of the fundamental building blocks of society. And so, you know, the fact that now divorces are becoming really common, it means that the nucleus of the relationships or the coupling experience, of the monogamy experience, are exploding, and people go from one monogamy to another monogamy. And so what is changing is the lifespan of that experience. So ideally, this is, you know, what people want to create. And then, of course, there are, you know, cheating episodes, you know, moments where the relationship or that model is going to be betrayed, and people step into, breaking that container and stepping out of integrity, because the agreement of exclusiveness is no longer respected. So there is going to be cheating, there is going to be betrayal, there are going to be lies. Sometimes they come to the surface, sometimes not. And so this is the place where there is a shadow. This is the place where suddenly there is the emergence of something that is not labeled as polyamory or polygamy, but in practice, this is what you could call it. It's like people saying that they want to be just in a committed relationship, two people together, and then in fact what's going on is that there are other players in the field who come and start connecting with that coupling experience, whether it's out in the open and completely transparent or not. You know, the fact is that in cheating episodes, in these betrayal episodes, then other players are going to come and start engaging with one or the other partner. And so that opens the model back to polyamory, because you might still be in love with your partner, your primary partner, but then there is a lover somewhere on the side that is an expression of some shadow, desire, passion that comes. And if you are in that model where you are having sex with more than one person, or if you are married with that person and then you have a lover on the side, then that's it, you are in a polyamory model. So in practice, you know, when society says that they want, you know, a polyamory model, sometimes in practice what's going to happen, it is that at some point or another, it might temporarily or permanently evolve to something that becomes a polyamory model or a polygamy model. Even if it's not out there in the open, it's still a trend that is there on the ground. I know this is a very sensitive topic, so don't get, you know, triggered by that. Observe in your life what is happening and see in which one of these models you want to live your life. My guess is that for most of you, it's going to be, you know, a monogamy it's going to be an exclusive model where you are committed to just one person, and maybe that's a model maybe for 1 year, 2 years, 5 years relationship. You know, it doesn't mean that it's for life, but most of the times, for most of you, it will be like, I just want to be in a relationship and having sex, or being in a relationship or a coupling experience with just one person, and it's completely okay. And if you notice somebody else practicing something different, you don't have to be like, oh, that doesn't work. You're not allowed to do that. No, it's like you can make your own choice, and somebody else can make their own choice. You know, it's like being gay or straight and having different preference. You might be into you know, BDSM or other sexual practices. That's your choice. None of these things are illegal, so you can go and play with whatever model of relating and sexual behaviors you prefer for yourself. Ideally, as long as you don't go around hurting other people in the process, you know. But, you know, that's another story. Hope that makes sense to you. Stay open, post in the comments, what is your relating model? What are the things that you aspire to? And does it work for you? What are the limiting factors or the limiting elements that you face in your life? I love you. You're so beautiful. I'll see you soon.